Hey folks, how's it going? Just getting started here. Hey, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I'm a bit delayed today, but I think we are close to ready here. Yeah, yeah. Just input whoever. When you're ready, you can select Add to Roster, which is kind of next to all nicknames in the spreadsheet, and then they should show up in the brackets, and then we can just kind of move players around. However, and then for your stream, by the way, the sheet to use would be, or the tab would be the battle tab. So what I usually do is I have two separate browsers open with that.
That shouldn't be a problem at all. I'm
Okay,
just
great,
still
awesome,
like
awesome.
cutting cameras and stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
I do this. Yeah, so one of the questions I had was, are the games rated or not? And you responded, we can do it either way, I think, with the commands. Yeah, I think that like the default is rated, and I think if anybody wants to play unrated, they would just like tell us otherwise, right? Or do you think the default would be unrated?
Personally, I prefer rated for like a number of reasons.
Hmm.
Number one, it just like gives people more skin in the game, and
Yeah.
all the biggest competitions are rated, like the team events, like the Olympiad and all that stuff. Those are all rated like the normal way. Um, and in general, I feel like people have a lot of anxiety about their online ratings, and I would just like to help people get over that. so
Yeah,
I,
you
tr-
and I are very similar in our philosophies there.
oh, cool, cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be rated if both players are like really strongly hoping for unrated, like that's fine. But yeah, the default is just rated unless people complain.
Awesome. All right.
So yeah,
So
we'll
any
be starting the games just automatically here in just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to check with my chat if there's anybody else that wants to last minute sign up.
Sure. Maybe we can just take 2 minutes. I'll finalize our players as well, and then we can come
Sure.
back.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll just mute.
Yeah, same.
Awesome.
Alrighty, folks. So yeah, if you signed up in the Google Doc that was posted in Discord, I'm pretty sure I got most of you, unless you signed up in the last few minutes, which I think we have a couple. So let me get Clark DH in, I think, and Trafkaskin. And then everyone else I think I already added. But it will depend on who shows up for their team. So we're just going to try to keep the matches even as possible. And, if there aren't enough players, then there might not be enough players. But we'll see. Okay, so we have Trafkaskin and Clark DH. And yeah, guys, I guess I'm going to assume if you signed up on the Google Doc, then you're here. But if you could just confirm that you're here and ready. Although the sheet is cool because it shows the usernames as like green if you're like logged into chess.com, which is awesome. Okay, if you did not sign up via the Google form in Discord and you're a sub on Twitch or Patreon and you would like to play, let me know in the Twitch chat and then I can get you in as well. Let me know your chess.com username. So I'll tell you guys who I already have. Actually, let me just add people to the roster. So it's not a total guarantee you'll be able to play, but hopefully you guys can see yourselves on the list. So if you see yourself on the list, then I definitely have you in. I don't think this even has everyone actually. I feel like it's missing a couple names. So it's also missing Stopped Clock and Clark DH, but I have you guys on the list, and we'll try to get everyone an opponent. So if you're not on the list, then and you want to play, let me know so I can add you in and we can try to get you a game. We're not going to be starting all the games right away. I think we're going to start maybe with the top board. I'm not sure, maybe with the bottom board, but we're going to do like a staggered start. So we're going to start like the first game, and then we'll start the next game like maybe 3-4 minutes after that, and then we'll just keep starting games every 3 minutes, because these are going to be rapid games. The time control is going to be 15 minutes plus 5 seconds. So the usual rapid time control that we have like for our tournaments and stuff. So 15 plus 5, and yeah, every game will start like a couple minutes. So I'm not sure if we'll start from the top or bottom. We'll really just have to see. But hopefully you guys can hang out and let me know if you desperately need to delay or something. By the way, this Discord thing is cool, that it's like it shows up, like the sub battle shows up. That's awesome. Okay, ranked. Yeah, so I'll try to start with your board then. That sounds good. Roger that. And I don't think we're really playing for much here, guys. This is not like the arena sub battles that had, you know, like lots on the line. This is just for fun and for training. And it's also like one of the only times we've had a rapid sub battle. So enjoy. So enjoy. Okay, looks like they're getting some players in. So we can see some of their ratings here. Okay, now there's some ratings that we're kind of missing. So if there are any players under 800 that want to play a rapid game, let me know. You don't necessarily have to be a sub, because otherwise they're just not going to get an opponent. So we're looking for someone around 800 and around 1020. Yeah, Clark, I think we should have, I think you're going to be able to play Stopped Clock as well. Because they have, let's see, 800, they have 1020, 1200, 1225. Then they have two 1660s. We have one 1660 in Drimmen. They have two, so we might need another. Or maybe Death by Lactose can play a bit up. I think that would be fine. Then they have a 1701, 1949, 1995, 2049, and 2227. So, Rinked, you'll probably play the 2227. That seems like a good pairing. And then looks like Laurent, you'll probably play Williams DC, who's about 2049. So our top boards, actually, you guys will be paired up a bit, it looks like. Cartier Tank, I think you'll be playing against Sirius Black, 1995. Chess Latte, you'll be playing against Vegan Flat Earther, 1949. Be careful with that one and their ideas. I would turn chat off for that game. Then we got Trafficaskin, you'll be playing probably Viet D, who's 1701. Yeah, Zero Sum, we can use you. Nordovic, the screen, yeah, it's just cut off, but I have you on my list here, so you're definitely in. Chess numbers, I think we could use you if you would like to play. I don't think we actually have more players than they do, so we might be needing a player here. If you want to play Zero Sum, we could definitely use you to face off against their 800. If you want to jump in, just send me a quick confirmation in the Twitch chat if you don't mind. Like, I'm here for you guys. Like, if you want to play, great. If not, also fine. I have no preference one way. Like, I don't want to force anyone to play, and I don't want to kick anyone out who would like if you would like to play, I would like to have you play. You don't have to sign up via the Google form anymore, although that would be helpful, but just let me know in the Twitch as a confirmation. Yeah, no bans for today's sub battle. No bans. Okay, Zero Sum. Just let me know actually your chess.com username, your exact one, because I always forget if it's like Zero Sum 71. And yeah, chess numbers, I think we can get you an opponent. If we end up having an extra player, we can also have you sit out, but I can add you in. I think you're Bob Joe Jim on chess.com, right? 0771. Cool. Okay, let me add you guys in. Now, Zero Sum, have you played any rapid chess on chess.com? Like, do you have a rapid rating? Oh wait, hold on. I got your username wrong. So it was showing up kind of weird. You have an actual 0 in your name. That's very clever. All right, we got you in. It's close enough. I'm sure you'll give Venus a good.
Hey, Coach,
good
I got a
fight.
question for you when you have a minute.
Alrighty. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, so for this sheet, it looks like you and I have some players that are like not quite fitting because they're hold on, they're not quite fitting because they're like because they're like squished in the brackets. Is it possible to just turn the brackets off?
Yeah, actually, we
Like
can adjust them. Right, we can just turn them completely off. That's fine.
right, it like because this sheet will still like smart match people, right?
I'm not sure, but hopefully.
Yeah. So if I do this,
Hmm.
what happens then? There's a check mark above enable brackets.
Yeah, so now it's just sorting them by rating, which seems like that's that's pretty good. Um,
Yeah, because I would say like this is hold on, let's go to the expected points. So your expected points are higher than mine? Yeah, some of the matches that we have are a little bit lopsided here, but I still think it would like allow it would allow some of our players to match up better. But wondering what you think about it, whether we have the brackets or not there.
no, that's fine. Yeah, like so, I think they're mostly okay. There's a few boards, like board 9 through 12, where we have kind of a big rating edge. So
Yeah. Are we doing how many boards do we want to do? Do we want to do 10 boards or more?
I'm actually open to whatever. If people want to play, I have no limits. It's up to you.
Because we both have 13 right now.
Hmm.
And if we wanted to keep it at 10, then you could cut out like three of your higher rated guys. I could cut out three of my lower rated guys, and then it would match up better. But if we wanted to keep it at 13, we'd have some more lopsided matches. I'm just looking at the rosters here. People in chat are saying that yeah, some people aren't showing up because we're only showing 10 boards, even though we both have 13.
Yeah, I think we can fix that in just a sec. Yeah, we're both looking at the full roster, and it's 13 boards.
Yeah,
Um,
of course, strands.
so, well,
Okay.
it's up to you guys.
Okay.
I'll check with my players if they want to. I assume they'll want to play anyway, but if you want to skip some of the boards, that's totally fine with me.
Yeah, so if you take let me look at your roster. You got everyone checked. If you were to take off three of your like players around the 1400 range, then I think it would match up very well and we'd have 10 boards.
Okay. So right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's just those players that didn't quite have a good opponent. And oh wait, somehow now I need to add a player.
Yeah, and the expected score is pretty close to 5, so I like this.
Oh, now it's much more even. Yeah.
Yeah, slight edge for us, which means that I would give you guys draw odds if we were to draw all 10, or like if we were to be 5-5 at the end, then I would say you win because we got a slight elo edge over you.
Okay,
But
that's cool. It's not necessary. So your average rating, oh, it's 1645. Ours is 1631. To me, that's very close. It's like really not a big deal.
yeah, it's not. So I had a couple of viewers that signed up anyways, and so like I'm able to give the subs priority and take off a couple of the viewers to make this balance. So this actually works out very well for us.
Okay, great. So okay, now so it's gonna be 10 boards. So we have our rosters here. You guys should be able to see them on the stream. So sorry guys if I had to cut you. There just wasn't like a fairly matched opponent available. So this is just kind of the best that we can do. But it looks pretty fair to me. Like they're okay. Biggest discrepancy is like maybe 100, almost 200 points on one of the boards, but kind
Yeah.
of evens out on the higher boards as well. Would you mind if we started with board one and worked our way down?
Yeah, but I know you and I talked about format, but let's tell the viewers the format that we said. So we did say
Yeah.
15-5, but like waiting for each game to finish would take forever.
Right.
So we said we'd stagger by like 3 minutes. Is that what we said?
I think 3 minutes is good.
Okay. So the first board will go, and then after 3 minutes, we'll start the second board, then and then we'll just have a lot of boards kind of simultaneously going, and we could jump around.
Right.
And I think that's pretty good. So I guess the last board will start like half an hour from now, and that's not too bad.
Yeah, that makes sense. Something like that. I guess we can always play it by ear if games finish
Yeah.
quickly, but I don't
Yeah,
expect
you
them
can,
to.
you can play by ear. Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Cool. I'll let you. I mean, we both have powers to start games. I'll let you do it so there's less confusion. So just one person's doing it. But I'm in live chess. I'm ready to start watching.
all right, cool.
I'm hyped.
So we have. All right, we got our players set. We have Tal's Tactician against a cute puppy. Um, okay, so both players should go get into live chess and be ready to play. So this goes for all our streams and tournaments, but you guys should definitely mute the stream while you're playing because we're going to be like talking about your game. And yeah, you should have it muted. And all right, so good luck to both players. Here we go.
I gave some of my viewers TTS, so they just like send me TTS messages. One of my mods wants me to tell you that Puppy beat Hikaru in a Blitz 3-0 game recently. We have a clip on it in our Discord. We have a clip of it in our Discord.
Oh, nice.
So
I saw that in our own chat. People were talking about that.
yeah,
So word is getting
he's
around.
he's the Nakamura Slayer over here.
Are they a streamer?
Puppy, I think he's streamed like once or twice, but I don't think he's a regular streamer. No,
Oh, okay.
just like a couple like small streams. But I don't know. I haven't checked in a while. But he's beaten me a fair number of times. He's the only person on my stream who I'm always just afraid of playing rapid games against because he just consistently beats me.
I see. Well, seems like a good player.
Yep, very strong.
Alrighty. So okay, we have this game started, and then next up we're going to be starting the board 2 game, which is going to be Laurent against Williams DC. And
All right.
that's going to be starting, let's say, in 2 minutes, so at 1:30 Pacific time. Hopefully both
Sounds
players
good.
are ready.
Sounds good. So was this a close Sicilian? What was it? Yeah, it was a close Sicilian. Do you play the Sicilian from the black side at all?
I
And
do.
if so, what do you think of close Sicilians?
I like the Sicilian. I definitely appreciate the close Sicilian. I love playing against it, actually. Honestly, anything other than the main lines and trying to checkmate me, I'm so happy with black. The Sicilian. I love all the sidelines. So it's always funny to me when people complain about like all the sidelines because to me like they're all great. Black just gets a great position.
Yeah, I find the real difficulty comes when you really get the Najdorf proper, and then they have like 10 options that are all good. That's the theoretical nightmare for me.
That's the scary part, yeah, because then you have to deal with like bishop g5, bishop e3, all these different lines, super sharp. Yeah.
And even some of the ultra weird ones like rook g1 are still so dangerous.
Yeah, like you never know when you have to deal with some some modern treatment. But like yeah, with this kind of thing it's like okay, white has their ideas, but like black has multiple options to choose from, and all the setups have their own like comfortable ideas. So it's like, well, I think it's just much easier for black to yeah, just get equal play here in these lines.
Definitely, definitely. If I'm black, the only thing I'm afraid of is letting f5 get out of hand. Like I feel like if I can control how dangerous it gets for my king, then I'm so happy here. I'll play this at every tournament I go to for the rest of my life, and I would love it.
Nice, nice. Okay, folks, I'm gonna start the board 2 game. Hopefully you are in live chess and ready to go. So go ahead and mute your stream if you haven't already. And there we have it. Okay, so we have our Frenchman Laurent playing black against Williams DC with the Steinitz avatar. Nice.
Yep, I got board 2 on my screen as well. All right, Williams.
Okay, the next up is going to be Cartier Tank against Sirius Black. So we'll be starting your game in about 3 minutes, guys. Do we have Cartier in the chat? Let me see. Yeah, we do. Okay, so Cartier, you should be getting ready soon to play.
Now, don't get me wrong. I hate playing the London. I'm looking at this from the white side, and I'm like, oh, it's a London. Wow. But since black has played d5, I feel like this is what London players are comfortable with at least, and so I'm pretty happy that we've got the white side here.
Yeah, definitely. Did you say you play the London or you don't?
I dislike it. I don't. And when I play the black side against the London, I try to not play d5 so I can play c5 and then d6 at some point to control the e5 square. And I feel like London players who play the London from the white side, when black plays d5, they're like, okay, I can rest and have my setup that I like. And
yeah, for sure, this seems to be the one they're kind of more comfortable with. You mean like compared to like the King's Indian setups, yeah?
yeah, King's Indian setups definitely. But I was also just talking, even without the fianchettoed bishop on g7, even just like the really early c5s from black, and then where black doesn't, will later play like d6.
Right.
Without even the King's Indian or with.
Yeah, I don't understand what white gets in those structures with the pawn on d6. It's just like,
Yeah.
I kind of like what black was doing here, although he played bishop b7. So white played queen e2, which I think is designed to stop bishop a6, which would otherwise, I think, just equalize for black very comfortably, just trading off these bishops. And then black could have played a5 there, which I feel like would be interesting, just to force the trade, but
Oh, a5.
not really sure.
I think, yeah, if a5 was played instead of bishop b7, yeah, you're saying that. What about a5, knight a3, bishop a6, knight b5?
But then there's maybe some c4 ideas, like taking on
think so?
g3
Oh,
and c4.
yeah. Right, because c4 hit, yeah, once you take, you hit the queen, and white wins the tempo battle there. Yeah, definitely, sorry.
No, yeah. I don't know, I'm just thinking maybe it was an interesting idea.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, really interesting idea.
for black, but I like how like this knight e4 as well. This seems at least just not giving white, like the easy London grind that they're looking for.
Right, and yeah, and this knight e4 makes the bishop b7 feel like a good piece, right?
Yeah, it's kind of logical follow-up.
Right.
Though we'll see what he does about his knight on b8 for black. Still some questions there. Okay,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like for both players, if either of them is too hasty in trading pawns or pushing pawns, then they could find themselves worse. This is going to sort of be a slow game.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, the other one, it's like black has already castled queenside, and it's just like crazy
Oh,
mess.
black is castled queenside. Wow.
Yeah.
In board 1 here, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and get
And there's
board 3 started here real quick. But yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go for it. Oh, I was going to say that white still played queen e1 anyways, even though the black king castled queenside.
Right.
I feel like
yeah,
queen
it's
e1
kinda
makes sense
funny.
when the king's on like g8, right? But
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on it, so he's already starting to think here. But yeah, it is kind of a funny move. I wonder if he wants queen h4 or queen f2 or what
queen
exactly.
Queen g3, maybe. maybe. I don't know.
It's a weird
All right,
position. I
so
mean, you got to think he was thinking about e5 on the last move as well. Like as soon as black castled, e5 just seems like super tempting.
yeah, what's wrong with e5? I'm
Yeah,
trying to like e5 knight g4 maybe, and then you give up the exchange and you just hope you have something on e3 or f2. You hope.
yeah. I don't know. It's huh. I mean, there's h6 as a move,
Yeah, e5 h6 would be less crazy.
right? But then maybe just bishop, h4. He just
g5.
g5 maybe. Yeah, he was afraid of something like this. I'm not sure. But yeah, very strange position. I mean, normally it's very risky to castle queenside in the Sicilian, but like it's weird because the bishop on b3 is kind of a dud in this structure. So it's like I don't know. It's a very unusual position, to put it lightly.
Yeah, yeah, and Puppy likes these kinds of positions. It feels like every game I play against him, he just wants to get these weird positions, but then he
Hmm.
doesn't want to play sharp chess. He wants to like slow it down and grind it out, and it's a bit of a paradox to me how he beats me every time like that. But
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, a bit unusual. Let's see. I think I'm gonna get the next game started here. So we have Chess Latte board 4 against Vegan Flat Earther. Hopefully you
the
guys
serious
are
black and
ready.
vegan flat earther and Viet and Strance, so boards 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all mods on my stream.
Oh, nice, nice.
So this is the mod lineup here.
And then we'll give it a couple minutes, then we'll get the next game started as well. Okay, so now we have 4 games going. Alrighty. So board 3, we have Cartier Tank against Sirius Black. This was Alep and Sicilian.
You said you don't really mind the sidelines too much. What about this? And do you call it a sideline, really? Do you play
Yeah.
knight f6 against the Alapin? And
Mm-hmm.
how much do you like it?
Yeah, I like knight f6. I think it's a good move. d5 is also very playable, but I've always liked this one just because it like kind of gets a more fighting game. I feel like because it provokes white's pawn forward, and then you get this pawn to kind of target. Yeah, I would say black is quite comfortable here in general. But this is an interesting thing what both players are doing. Like black goes d6 and e6, which is very typical to like just keep a good structure and take on d6 with a piece. And then white goes g3, which I think makes a lot of sense in this position to put the bishop on g2 because the diagonal is open and it's kind of like almost like a Catalan as soon as white plays d4. He just has this like pressure on the long diagonal, and black has to figure out what to do with their light squared bishop. So
I'm also afraid of
yeah,
rook d1 here. Rook d1, c4.
yeah, in the live position, right?
Yeah, in the live position. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, some pressure for white for sure. Black has to figure out how to develop that bishop and deal with c4 ideas as well. So cool. Opening worked out here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I think I prefer white here. I do think that I don't think white's like won or anything, but I think that maybe white has won this psychological battle because I don't think this is what black looks for when he wants to play the elephant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it feels a little more comfortable for white. And there he goes, rook d1.
Yeah, rook d1, maybe like queen c7. I don't know, but no, queen c7, bishop take. I don't know. Is gambiting the pawn here worth it for black? Does
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
I wouldn't take on d5 as white. Yeah.
queen c7. You wouldn't take on d5, and
Yeah, I've been
you wouldn't be a pawn grubber.
no, I've been burned too many times doing that. I would play for c4, bishop f4, knight
Yeah.
c3. Yeah, yeah, I've learned you got to play for the initiative, especially in rapid. I think it's really important.
Yeah, and this is like a long-lasting initiative too, the one you're talking about, the c4, bishop f4 kind of thing. And this is the kind of stuff that really, really squeezes players.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be dangerous. Now, black does have like bishop f6, which they can throw in, but it doesn't feel like it's really going to solve black's issues fully.
Maybe once c4 is played, b2 gets weak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would just play bishop f6 here as black and just see where the queen wants to go, and then and then figure it out.
And figure it out, yeah.
But
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
yeah, I don't know. Because if you play bishop d7, then yeah, you just run into c4 immediately, and then the queen stays on the d file, and right. So okay, some dynamic problems.
Yeah, definitely. And then board 4.
Yeah,
What
and
was the
actually,
opening board 4?
let me go ahead and get board 5 started as well.
Yeah, seems like a good time.
Let me bring that up. I think that was, yeah, that was Travkuskin against Viet D. Hopefully you folks are ready. Game will be starting shortly.
Viet told me he wanted to participate, but he also has a young crying child that he has to take care of, and so hopefully it doesn't eat all his time.
Oh, we should have paired them up against Bob Joe Jim, because then they might be in the same boat. That would be funny. All right, so let's go to board 4.
Yep.
Let me just scroll back through here. So this was a Con Sicilian where white plays for like almost like a Marazzi bind type of structure.
I thought there was some reason why the Maroxy bind wasn't as solid against the Con, but I don't. It's been so long since I've looked at this. If that, I might be making that up.
I don't know. I would say it's one of the main ways of playing, but it's not, I think, as good as like the Marazzi against the Accelerated Dragon.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Like it's definitely a good approach for white, but in the Accelerated Dragon, it's like the Marazzi, I think, is either clear number 1 or tied number 1. And in the Con, there's like multiple main lines that white can choose from, and then like one of them is like this kind of setup, which is considered pretty solid for black.
Right. And is it because the bishop's on e7? Or like what's the difference between the Con Maroxy binds and the other and the Accelerated Dragon Maroxy bind?
I'm not sure, actually. I feel like here black does get kind of a more harmonious like hedgehog type of setup. It's basically like just a hedgehog, which is just a very playable structure. Whereas the Accelerated Dragon, yeah, you have the bishop on g7, but then it's like, it's hard to work with the d5 square because either you give up the d5 square or you play e6, and then the bishop's not on e7 defending the d6 pawn. So it's,
gotcha. Okay, that makes a ton of sense.
I think it's like, yeah, a little bit less solid. But it's, I don't know, these positions are very funny because in many cases, black goes like rook fe8, bishop f8, g6, bishop g7. Like, that's how they improve their position at some point. So there are many cases like where the rules are seemingly broken.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that about the dark squared bishop, but you're right. If it is on e7, it doesn't look so useful until you realize that holding the d6 pawn has allowed the e6 move to be played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these positions, I mean, I think they are really double-edged, and they're very interesting because it's like a lot of players really prefer white's position because they like the space and how everything is just defended. But it's also very difficult, I think, to handle white's position because as soon as you start pushing something, you create weaknesses, you give black chances for counterplay. But it's also difficult for black to play because you have to be like very patient. You have to time your breaks properly. Now here Chess Latte goes king h8. I don't know if this is like a shout out to the great Bobby Fischer, but Fischer had this famous game where he played king h8, rook g8, and like g5, and played for the like kingside play, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking at.
He might know that one.
I'm hearing what you said earlier about black being patient, and I'm wondering if knight c5 back to d7, provoking b4, if that was more of a weakness or if that was him being impatient, and white actually gained space there. I think it was probably helping white more than it helped black.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of both. It's like, right, because now white doesn't have the option to ever, let's say, put the pawn on b3 and keep c4 defended. And so, and there black goes knight e5, going after the c4 pawn. But it is double-edged because white also just played queen f2 and is potentially targeting b6. So both sides have their weaknesses here to tend to. But maybe black wants to put the other knight on d7, like knight f d7 to cover this one. Might be... But I think it's very risky to try and take the c4 pawn. Whenever you have the rook on c1 against the queen on c7, it's really hard to... Yeah, I mean, let's imagine black just took the pawn right now. Like, takes, queen takes c4, white goes knight d5, and it's like... resigns? I don't know.
Yeah, knight d5 is a tough move, definitely.
It's like queen is just lost. So, yeah, I'm not sure if black is really threatening to take on c4 here. I think instead of knight e5, I would have maybe just followed the plan, rook g8, and then look to play like g5, g4. I think that looks actually like a pretty fun idea to like awaken the bishop on the long diagonal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Who would you play here? Before the knight was put on e5, the move before. Which side would you pick?
I don't know. I think I usually prefer white in these positions with the space, but I've definitely played them as black as well. So I think I would feel comfortable on both sides.
Yeah. I only ever play
yeah.
the white side of these, but I always fall apart. So it's just I have so much trouble handling the space and not letting black in. It's so
tough.
hard to be patient.
It's tough, especially like in faster time controls, I would say.
Definitely.
All right, I think it's probably time to get the next game going. So Dripman and Strantz 02. You guys are going to get ready to play. Here we go. And the next game will be Bob Joe Jim against Blunderfest.
On board 5, oh my goodness, Viet has been asking me forever on how to play the Caro, and I taught him that if the pawns do get exchanged and you can get this Carlsbad formation, you could do a minority attack, whatever, and he loves to play this g6 move instead, and I always kind of sigh because even though you can make it work, it's just strategically it's harder to play with g6.
Interesting. Yeah, I've looked at this quite a bit, and it's like sometimes black really struggles, but knight h6 and then just forcing the bishop trade. It's funny. Yeah. I mean, some players, they play bishop f5 even without knight h6. They just take with the g pawn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're referring to?
Oh no, I just mean this structure in general feels a little bit strategically difficult to play black because you're playing like for the e5 break, right? I was more talking about the pawn structure after g6, bishop g7 castles, and not really playing the minority attack. What does black do?
Oh, so instead of g6, you would opt for just like developing the knights and like getting the bishop out, like bishop g4, something like that.
Yeah, develop the knights to like c6, g6. Try to pin this knight on f3 if you can, and if you can't, then sometimes the bishop even lives inside the pawn chain. But then the minority attack idea of like b5, b4, get your counterplay that way. That's much more typical here.
Yeah, I mean, I think black does have to be careful because if they don't get their bishop outside, if they play like e6. Then I think those positions are very nice for white with like the e5 square, and then the bishop is just kind of bad in the long run.
Yeah.
But if you can get like the bishop out to g4, and then you get the minority attack, then black, I think is very solid. But the way he played, I mean, is very funny with this knight h6 because it's like it's paying a hefty price just to trade the light square bishops. This knight is really really on the outskirts of society here.
And I'm not even like trying to say it's the worst knight in the world. I mean, it just looks really funny,
Yeah. No, the only way to justify it would be to play like f5, which black might do. It might castle and go f5.
He might do it.
That made me wonder why white didn't go queen d2 instead of knight d2. That would have been at least very tempting. But then I guess black just goes back knight g8 and then just reroutes the knight to where it wants to go anyway.
Sure, yeah.
So maybe not such a big deal.
With the queen on c7, maybe like f5, f4 could even... Is that crazy?
No, definitely not. But yeah, it is concrete. Like on f5, white could consider taking on h6 and then trying to win a pawn on f5.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
position opens up, so I'm honestly not sure about that one at all. It does feel like black has some dynamic counter chances and might start with castling first and then playing f5. Whoa, e5 was not
There's
expected.
e5. This is what I was telling you about. I was telling you he likes to go g6, he likes to trade, and then he likes to go e5. And
oh man,
ah,
no, but this doesn't look good.
it doesn't. Yeah,
It doesn't
the
look good at
d5
all.
pawn. There's. It feels early. It feels early.
Yeah, I mean, knight on h6 is going to be hanging. D5 pawn is going to be isolated. It's not a. It doesn't look good. DE5, that looks absolutely right.
I feel like if he played f6 instead of e5, that would have been like let's say he really wants to get this e5 idea in f6, knight f7, castles,
Yeah.
either side, I don't know, and then play e5 maybe.
You got to prep it, yeah, because it really isn't going anywhere. And actually, like, if you do castle and your king is safe and you get e5 in, then you do start to feel very comfortable there as black. You just get this, like, huge central space advantage. But here
Right.
it's just like black is just going to have a bunch of weaknesses now. Because knight on h6 is hanging, so you have to take with the knight. Then you have to take with the queen. And then, thank God, white doesn't have bishop d4 because the bishop is pinned, but white has knight f3. And it's like white's going to castle queenside, and it's just like... it's going to be a miracle if black survives and only loses a pawn, I would say.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
already
exactly.
like white has like queen b5 check if they want on the next move. It's just like, okay, this...
Like a mess.
The mistake is just opening the position too early. I think we can kind of just put it that way.
And this wouldn't even be the end of the world, but even what I'm about to say sounds uncomfortable. Like if white castles long right now, then there's the threat of bishop d4 even, and so then
Yeah.
what, black castles short to defend the bishop or something, and then black is under some pressure. Like this isn't probably the best continuation, but even this is so uncomfortable for black. How do you deal with the bishop d4 threat?
Yeah, I think you have to just castle and just
You
just hope for the best, and then
castle, bishop d4 anyways, queen moves, bishop takes g7, king takes g7, and then maybe even h4, give up the g4 pawn.
oh, maybe. I mean, I would be interested in just keeping that knight out of play for as long as possible. So I would just go like
True.
at the end of that line, maybe just knight f3 and just take on d5 at some point, or just bringing the knight in. Yeah, minimum is just like very comfortable for white. Maybe he had better than castles, but I think that's what you were saying. It's just like even this is very, very unpleasant for black.
Right.
But yeah, maybe queen b5 check would have just been like, I don't know. That would have been nice because it's like the king has to move, you take a pawn, the rooks are disconnected, you castle next move. But okay. Yeah, still quite uncomfortable for black. I think it's probably time to start the next game. So let me get Bob, Joe, Jim,
Yep.
Blunderfest going.
Yeah, following Blunderfest, B1UNDER_fest. I played a rapid game against Blunderfest recently. He outplayed me just the whole game through and through in a rapid game, and he's like 400 points, 500 points below me in rapid. So when he has his good days, they're very good.
Cool. Looks like we got Petrov defense here. Let's see. Okay, now board one is like crazy, and our player is down to 20 seconds here. So this
Oh,
game
board
might
one.
be,
Wow, 20 seconds.
might be actually over soon.
16. Wait. Oh, this game has gotten crazy. 15 seconds. I mean, oh.
Oof.
Oh. Something. Well,
Nice trick.
is it rook takes h2, rook g2? Is that the idea?
No,
Oh, no,
just-
sorry. It's
yeah,
taking the
both
queen.
queens were hanging. So I guess
Both queens are
I
hanging.
guess white had an extra piece there. Huh. But yeah,
wrong
this
with
low
taking
on
the pawn?
time, it's
Why
really
didn't he-
hard to play accurately. And now, I mean,
What's wrong?
I have no idea what's happening. Seems like it's good for black though.
Why
Just
isn't he taking the b6 pawn? Am I missing something? Why isn't he taking the b6 pawn?
I don't know. I think you could. I think sometimes the player they just want to like avoid checks by like not taking these kinds of pawns.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I think black is winning, but like, yeah, he's playing like way too fast. It's kind of unnecessary. Like, if you're winning, you can just like take a second to calculate and it's like you have rook g2
Sure.
coming. I mean, it looks very good. But I like that they're spending their time now after rook a7. Now they're like making sure.
Do you think there's some mating net here? Like a knight g4, knight g4, rook g2, and then rook takes c2, and then like a rook f1 kind of thing?
No, definitely. I mean, with the two rooks and the knight and the pawn, like, yeah, there's some chances. You really just need three pieces. Like, you need two rooks plus one other piece, even a pawn. And you have some ideas, but yeah, with the knight and pawn, like knight g4 looks good. I mean, rook g2, I think, is a pretty. Probably they're calculating rook g2, rook takes g3, and then white pushes b7 or something, and they're trying to figure out, like, if they're mating in time. But
Right, right.
seems like it should be. Oh, knight
Right, so he's
g4
going
like
for the mating
this.
net idea, it looks
Mm-hmm.
like.
Oh, right, knight e3 and then rook h1, rook e2. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, there's many different ways that black can try to mate. It is risky to not take the free material, right? But yeah, rook h1 now, right?
Yeah, that's
Rook h1
GG.
is mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alrighty, GG, GG. Let me update the score. Okay, 0.14 Pawngrubber's team. Well played. That looked like a
Yay,
crazy
one.
game.
Yeah, very complicated game. I don't even know how to.
Yeah, no, we'd
There
have to
was just
go
so much
back
that
and
happened
look
that
at it
game.
slowly. I mean, it was just like so many tactics. Okay, let's see. So board two, just checking in with this one. We have Laurent playing black, heavy time trouble, and in some danger. As the king is very exposed, but he's fighting h5. Definitely black is
Black is
still
playing very
fighting.
actively.
Yeah. So
I
there's
wonder if white has
one.
like if white can sack the knight, bishop h7, queen g6. Probably can't. Probably can't. But I'm trying to find a way to make something work where you can attack the king. I don't know.
Yeah, somehow white's pieces don't feel organized to deliver mate in their current configuration.
Yeah,
King
I'm
just
getting the
sits
same
on
feeling.
h8. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of working for black, and black has a lot of space, and now maybe can bring the knight around somehow, or get some counterplay on the c file.
Yeah.
Also, a question of where White's knight is going, actually. Because he doesn't want to go just knight e5 and give up a pawn. He would like to go knight h6, but then you have to be very, rook f6, your knight might just be getting caught there.
Was it possible to play was it possible to play knight h6 instead of bishop h7?
Yeah, yeah. But then black goes maybe just king h8 anyway.
King h8 and then bishop b5 opening up for the queen. That was going to be my idea.
Something like that. Yeah, maybe that was an idea. Yeah, for sure. And black would have to try to defend against that. But it feels like black should even like king g7 there, and then just the queen has no entry squares. Okay, e5 is interesting. It's hitting the knight this way, but it also gives up the f5 square, so knight
Yeah, knight
f5
f5
seems like an
feels
obvious move for white. But then the bishop is a little man, and white, I think white's pieces are like they're yeah, grasping for squares here basically. They're
yeah. White is very uncoordinated here. I mean like there's also even bishop g6 trying for knight f7 and that doesn't even seem to work.
yeah, bishop g6 is a
Bishop.
move too.
I was looking at queen g6 briefly, but the king g7 at the end of that
Yeah,
after trading queens king g7.
right.
No, I think white's losing a piece by force here. Knight f5 is maybe the most complicated. Yeah, okay, he's trying bishop g6.
Right, so this one, let's see. So king g7 runs into knight f5, but okay, actually this one's not so easy, right? Because white also has knight f7 in the air.
Yeah, knight f7 was kind of the main point. Is there even knight d8?
Maybe knight
Because
d8.
white doesn't have a threat.
Well,
We
after
play a
knight
slow move.
d8, yeah, but I don't know. It's like disconnecting rooks. My feeling is that black can just sack the exchange here and still have a good position, but maybe e5 wasn't so accurate. Maybe rook f6 was better, but I don't know. I feel like I would probably just go like rook f6 here and just force the issue. Or maybe just king g7, actually. I think king g7, knight f5, just
Seven,
take
knight
it.
f5.
Just bring the other rook in.
See, I wanted knight d8, rook f6. But this, you're right. This doesn't seem to.
It might work. I'm just very skeptical because, for example, d takes e5 with tempo,
Yeah.
and then e takes f4, and then the rook gets to the e file. It's like, then white starts to have a lot of pieces in the attack.
Instead of knight d8, you wanted rook f6 to force the issue. Could we just force the issue by taking in the center instead of knight d8?
Maybe
could
just
we
capturing.
Just like do c takes d4?
Yeah, I was thinking king g7, but yeah, maybe just capturing on d4. Just start taking pawns.
Because if you start taking pawns, you end up with knight d4 at the end, and then he doesn't have f5.
Yeah, and it's also very active. So, I mean, you might give the exchange, but I mean, it looked like good play.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here white goes bishop takes h5, so this might be another way, because now the knight can maybe get out via the g4 square. The problem for Laurent is his time, of course. It's running very low, but he's trying.
Trade queens and minor pieces are alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're alive.
Not a bad try. He still has king g7, rook h8. It's still annoying for white. He's still trying.
Oh, I would have thought like bishop d1 instead of the knight. Bishop d1 just regardless, and then knight g4.
That might have been cleaner, yeah. But looks like white should be more than okay here. I mean, he's got the extra pawn. He can even take on f7 if he wants. Yeah. Okay, I think we should probably get another game started here.
Let's do it.
Keep getting distracted. All right, but we got Stopped Clock up next against Hamster Ham. Hopefully both of you ready to get into live chess and start playing. Okay, and then we have two more games. We're going to have Clark DH against Vito. We'll start that in a few minutes, and then Zero Sum against Venus. We'll start that in a couple minutes after that.
So I wanted to talk about board. Which one is it? Board 6, because we hadn't looked at it. And actually, the guy that's chosen to play on your team is one of my coworkers. And
Dripman,
yeah, Dylan. He betrayed me. I'm working with him on a project, and he's like, "Nah, I'll join Costa's team." So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, he's been with the dojo longer than he's been with chess.com, so his allegiances lie to us, of course. But yeah, he's a good dude. And position's not looking too shabby. Although wait, last move, let's see. White played knight h4. He went knight b5. I think I would have just taken on f6 right away instead of rook ac1.
So Strantz tried an Evans Gambit. This came out of an Evans Gambit that was declined.
Declined, yeah.
Yeah. You rarely see the Evans Gambit declined.
Yeah, not too often. But you can definitely do it. I think it's pretty solid for black.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like white has no problems here, really, but also white doesn't have a clear way to give black problems. But I'd say that white's position white at least has ways to push pawns. So I would say like maybe I prefer white slightly here.
Are you looking at the live position?
Live position, yeah, sorry, live position.
Oh yeah, no worries. No, I was thinking if we go back 2 moves actually before rook ac1.
Yeah.
So white played knight h4.
Yeah.
Threatening, I thought, a very typical exchange sack with rook takes f6. Black played knight b5. I think white should have just taken this one immediately. And after gf6, just bring the other rook to f1, right? Knight takes c3, queen comes to h5. I think it's just like brutal for black.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
or
kind of a
queen
missed
h5 right
chance.
away.
Yeah, queen
Could you do
h5 right
queen
away.
h5 right away? Could you?
Instead of rook f1. I think, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
If he takes with the pawn on c4, he could still sack on f6
let's see.
in the live position.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I don't think white wants to take with the pawn. I'm not sure if I would. It might be worth
So
it
Strands
still.
had he loves to play these slow games. He plays the Caro as black, and he loves playing like the slowest game possible. And I keep telling him like sometimes you got to learn how to be more active.
Yeah.
So I
No,
hope that
actually,
he's
I do like your DC because anyway, you're going to be taking that knight on f6 next move anyway.
yeah, yeah. If you take with the knight on c4, then I don't know. Maybe black gets to even go queen e6. Maybe queen e6 is good. There's
Right.
still knight f5, but seems a little bit easier than before.
Yeah, so he's thinking about it here. He's definitely thinking about it. I think we should jump
Oh.
to board 2.
Board
They have
two.
a very sharp endgame, probably finishing. Then we should keep an eye on board 3 as well.
What's your gut instinct say? Win, draw, loss here. Like table. What's your guess for a table base?
Um, it feels like, oh man, this is tough. Feels kind of drawish actually. Yeah, it's gonna be hard
Yeah,
for white
I
to
was
hold
gonna say
on to
that.
both of their pawns.
Exactly, exactly. You push one of the pawns, the black king steps in, and if you push neither of the pawns, then black's rook takes a pawn. That's how I felt.
Yeah, so now he's playing rook h2 to try to provoke h6. I think yeah, black held this one really nicely because I feel like black was worse there and way down on time. So good job to Laurent holding this because yeah, it feels like he should be okay. Can give rook g2 check
Well,
and
king f5 is a little bit trappier than king f4 because then on rook h2 he could have gone h6 maybe.
true. But he probably just gives check on f2.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't work, but it's trappier.
Yeah.
Hoping for the repeat.
Um,
Okay, king g6. Really interesting to see
King
how white tries to
g3.
hold on to these pawns.
But yeah,
This
I
still
think
feels like a draw to me.
should be okay. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like black just needs one tempo to take the pawn, but will he have a chance? Maybe not.
Board 3 has a result.
Okay, board 3, it looks like Cartier tank 1. Well done. Queen the a pawn, very nice. And
Yeah, very nice position.
let me mark that one and let me get the next game started as well. So Clark DH against Vito the Monkey. Hopefully you guys are ready. Go ahead and get into live chess. Mute the stream if you haven't already. And then last game, Zero Sum against Venus. You'll be starting in a couple minutes. Okay, what's happening here? King E1. So white has decided he
On
could
which
have
board, sorry?
repeated. I think I'm on board 2.
Board 2, Williams. Okay, yeah.
Seems like white is like avoiding the repetition, which is interesting.
Rook h2 for white, or this works as well.
Well, he's like this. Yeah, I mean,
I feel like if
outside.
white gets the king active enough, then
Yeah,
white
now white
certainly
feels.
draws.
No, now white feels even better actually if they can hold on to the pawn.
Oh yeah, white definitely has winning chances, but I was at least saying like draw is the worst case result if the white king gets active.
Yeah. But that's interesting because yeah, just a few moves ago I thought black was already on the more comfortable side, but no, now black is gonna have to be very, very accurate here, I think, to hold this because white's king is a lot closer to the action. So this is gonna be a trick,
Oh, I
another
like
tricky
rook a6.
test for black.
This rook now has to stay on the 7th rank to defend a7. It's very uncomfortable. And all of white's pawns are defended, so this white king is free to move. This feels... It's still probably a draw, but it feels so hard to hold as black.
Yeah. It's probably drawish, but it's very easy to lose, I think. Very easy.
King d7 might put white into zugzwang, actually. like the king has to step back. Well, no, but then the rook moves and then the king gets d4, d3 anyways. I thought king d3, e4 was the idea, main idea.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't feel right. You can't trade this many pawns and still win. Or at least this is my gut feeling, right?
Yeah, e4 I think was kind of unnecessary, but white definitely keeps, I think, some winning chances here.
Okay, now I think white is maybe won after take. Well, take on a7, takes on h6. That's
Yeah, no,
right.
this is still very unclear.
This is very
But I
unclear.
like
I
rook
agree.
a4. I like keeping white's king cut off, and yeah, it seems like white's gonna have to take on a7 here at some point if
You
they
king
want to make
a3 here? Yeah,
progress.
king a3.
Right, but now he's just going here. He's just gonna force the issue. But you don't want to take on h6 with the rook. That could have been a trick because then white trades rooks and promotes the a pawn. So I think okay, it could have been
Yeah.
kind of funny. Now okay, black has to figure out how to
King a2, rook
swing the
h2
rook.
check. I mean, I feel like there's at least perpetual if you start checking on the side and then keep going rook a1. Keep threatening rook a1. Maybe that's not perpetual.
This is tough. He
I'm
needs to
so
get
slow
his
at
king to
calculating these.
h7, g7. Okay, king g7. That's good. And now he needs to have his. This is actually like the
Oh yeah, keep
famous
the king on
Vampira
g7. This is
defense.
theoretical.
Yeah, yeah. So he needs to keep the rook in line of the f file so that he can give checks on the f file when needed.
Right, right, right.
All right. So here I think.
No,
Oh, I
you had
think
to
he
go
might
rook
have messed
a2.
it up actually, because white's king now white can go like rook c8. I think he had to go to the f
Yeah,
file one move earlier before white plays king to
rook b2 check.
b6. And now I think white is winning. Yeah. Once white gets the rook off of the a file, it's just like the pawn just promotes. Black's king is now too far.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking when the pawn's already on a7. If the pawn was already on a7, that would be a draw. But with it on a6, it's a lot harder for black.
Yeah, if white's pawn is on a7, rook on a8, then that one's just like a dead draw. But
Right, right, right.
with the white's pawn on a6, then the king always has a way to get in. But this was a very difficult endgame to hold on like 20 seconds. And now, okay, just rook b8. Yeah,
Yeah, this was pretty well played as white.
no, he did a good job converting it, I would say. He put some very good pressure there at the end.
We also have a result on board 4.
So well done, Williams, DC. And then let's see what happened board 4. Vegan Flat
This was
Earther
fun,
won.
fun. Wait, did he? This is a weird material imbalance that happened. Let's start the next, the last game, and then talk
Yeah,
about board
let's do
4
it. Looks
maybe.
like Strance won with actually exactly the exchange side we were talking about. Nice. Knight f5, Queen g4. Beautiful, beautiful game by Strance. And okay, last game going to be starting here shortly. Venus against Zero Sum.
All right, good luck, Venus.
Oh, Venus not online. Make sure you get into live chess.
Yeah, she's in the Twitch chat, so she's saying bye. I assume that means she's getting on chess.com.
Okay, cool, cool.
Strance, I'm so happy you saw the sack on f6, the rook sack. Kostia brought the idea to my attention, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks brutal.
That was a good one. Yeah, textbook. Yeah, GG Laurent. That was a good defense. Actually, we were watching that one. That was a very interesting Ricken game.
Oh, Venus is usually on mobile, so she might have to start the game instead of you, because I know that like the commands, like it might not register.
Oh
her as
yeah, it
being
doesn't
live
work when the
mobile.
player is on the app. So they might have to like match each other. Or if you get onto the browser on the phone, I think it works that way. So you have to be either on the PC browser or phone browser.
Yep. So Venus, can you go ahead and challenge Zero Sum? I have the spelling on my screen. I'll make the window real big in case you can't see
Yeah,
it that
zero
well.
with a 0. Sum 71.
Or Zero could challenge Venus. Either way.
Um, yeah, or Zero Sum, you can challenge Venus 814 if you're able to do that to a 15-5 rapid game, and then we'll follow you.
So all the games that have ended so far, we've been slightly higher rated on, and we're getting to the lower boards where your team is slightly higher rated. So I wonder if we're gonna like,
Okay, cool.
you
Kind of
know,
like on election night, like how they start with like the eastern states and then slowly work their way
yeah.
over.
So I want to see the result on board. Which one was it? Board four. I want to see how this happened. Venus is saying, don't see the game yet, don't see Venus. Yeah, can you start the game, Venus? Because when you're on mobile, I can't start it for you. So can you challenge zero sum 71? So I got it on the screen. It's board 10 here. I'll type it in the chat as well.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
need
and
to.
Venus should be playing white.
And Venus should be playing white. That's
Yeah,
right.
just to keep it fair. Yeah, sorry, Zero, I had it cut off, but yeah, you were on our list. Oh, it looks like Via
Oh, don't worry about it, Venus.
D just
She's
won the
saying sorry
game.
now.
GG Via TD.
So it looks like Black gave up a piece. Was it what did Black give up a piece? No, it looks like it was just tactically lost in board 4 on move 23.
Which game was that?
Board 4 move 23.
Board 4. Sorry, that was Vegan's game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, crazy position.
So that bishop on b7 is just tactically lost, it looks like. So really this seems to have snuck up on Black.
Yeah, this was
It's the kind of thing where it shows up and then you're just like, wow, I can't move my bishop.
that hedgehog. Yeah, Chess Latte, I thought you had a reasonable position. I was thinking, instead of knight e5, where it's going to be really hard for you to take this pawn because of tactics, right? You play this move king h8. I thought your plan was to go rook g8 and g5, like the famous Fischer game. I thought you were thinking about this. But maybe you play king h8 for another reason. But I like this idea, rook g8, g5, and then you try to just make work on this diagonal. Yeah, because even without knight a4, I feel like we don't really want to take this pawn, right? Because knight e5 you played, but even if white just lets you take, knight d5, like queen is just trapped there, So we're probably not even threatening that one. And so we got to be careful. But okay, I mean, these positions are very tricky. We're talking about how they're tough to play for both sides. And it seems like white played well. I like this knight a4, knight b3. That looks like a very strong plan. Let's see, did we get that last game started? Yes, we did. Awesome. So we got Zero Sum playing against Venus.
I'm looking at the board 5 game because there's a result there as well. That was the weird Caro. The g6, knight h6 Caro. What happened this game? Board 5. It seems like Black drops an exchange around move 20 and then drops a whole knight around move 21. And then the game, I guess, gets really tricky. He's down a full rook, but keeps applying pressure in weird and different areas. And white's not able to hold it.
Oh yeah, it looks like Trafkiskin was doing well, but
Move 25, queen b6 with the double attack.
tricky. That was the key. And then it's actually, well, then it's tough for white. Hard to find a good move there, but probably is one. Not sure. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Vieta saying I was carrying my baby at the same time. All right.
I want to keep an eye on Bob Joe Jim. Their
Oh
game
yeah.
is
Bob Joe
approaching
Jim. I
heavy,
got that
heavy
game.
time trouble. And it's crazy opposite colored Bishop's middle game.
Started as a pretty symmetrical-ish Petrov, and G5 was played, and it got really complicated. And then Queen H6 happened. I'm just trying to get to the present moment. Okay, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, we have this weird opposite color bishops thing where these pawns are down the board and it's very dangerous. And honestly, it's hard for me to read who might be better here.
Yeah, these pawns are super impressive for black, but the dark squared bishop for white is also a unit, you could say. So it's like, yeah, it's tough.
I just don't know how to avoid repetition here for black. If you're playing black, you want to play for a win and you want to keep the queens on, and I don't know how to avoid repetition and keep the queens on.
Hmm.
Because otherwise, I feel like bishop e5 comes and you're very unhappy. Maybe
Yeah.
like what might black's plan here be
Maybe
in the live position?
maybe bishop g6 might be a move.
Bishop g6, bishop g6, bishop e5, rook h7.
And rook
Is that
h7.
your idea?
Yeah, I mean, if you really, really want to keep the queens on, you think you could do it this way. But I don't know if you want to keep the queens on as black. Honestly, I would love to trade the queens and just keep my pawns if I could.
That's true. Yeah, maybe rook g or queen g6.
Yeah, like queen g6 looks quite interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be a very, very weird position with like a queen trade, bishop d6, e7, and then both sides get their like grips on the position. And then multiple. I'm sure someone will sack an exchange at some point.
Oh, rook g6, that drops h5, and I wonder if that's worth it.
I don't like that because that e pawn was gonna go anyway, and this just kind of weakens black's king. But
Although maybe well,
see.
you said the e-pawn's going to go anyway, right? Well, on queen g6 it doesn't, because I thought that bishop d6 e7 gets played later.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think black just sacks the exchange there and just is like dominating the position.
Oh, you want to sack the exchange in the
I think
endgame.
yeah, with this like light scored bishop, these pawns like, you just to me it seemed more comfortable for black, but I don't know. Maybe I'm optimistic there.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. My chat tells me I sack the exchange too much, so I'm trying to cut back. I have a serious problem.
I don't think so. No, guys, I think you should rethink that.
We have a correspondence game going on in my Discord, and I just sacked an exchange, and my chat's making fun of me because they're saying it's a bad move.
Oh, brutal. I think exchange sacks they're like the one-handed backhand. Like you really gotta. It's not like totally necessary, but you really gotta learn it at some point because they're very useful in many cases. We saw Stance's game against Stripman. I think that was a good example. Now, yeah, this game is just like super double-edged. Thanks for doing this, by the way. It's so cool to have like a rapid sub battle. I think our members really appreciate playing rapid chess.
Yeah. My Discord was super happy too. They've been saying for days that the hype here was real. So
That's awesome.
thanks for suggesting it. This is a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah. No, we would definitely be down because this is generally our preferred time control. I think for most of our events, just some kind of like quick rapid.
Yeah.
And I think people also like that we're not just focusing on one game at a time and watching it, with like hundreds of people. It's kind of more staggered. So yeah, I think it's a good format.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I like the it just feels like there's never any real time trouble, and if there is time trouble, it's because somebody has like really burnt their time thinking hard, and it's kind of deserved. That's how I feel, you know. I feel
Yeah,
like if you take 3-0, then there are some players that get low on time, and you just feel bad for them because they just don't really know it. But I feel like if people get low in time in rapid, there's kind of like, well, you had 15 minutes in five, and it doesn't happen so often. So it feels like really every game is people giving it their all and not ever losing on time in a way that feels undeserved in my mind.
right, for sure. Like, yeah, you had 15 minutes, so you definitely, that means you used up a lot of time and were able to think about the position. And 5 second increment is also very generous to, not flag. No, I totally agree. I think yeah, a lot less games get decided because of the clock. If anything, people often, I think, tend to play a little bit too quickly in rapid, and they kind of make decisions, a little bit too fast. They could have maybe thought through them more. So yeah, I think it's a very nice balance. And I like this b6. I like this very much, just undermining white's bishop. But still, black's king here is always going to be, to me, a little bit less safer than white's king. So still hard for me to judge, actually, who I would even rather be here.
So on move 36, there was rook e to f6 played. Can you evaluate the exchange sack on d6 now? Because I don't like it, but there's, I think, still black's d3 pawn is nice, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
I'm
not
curious what
sure.
you
So
say.
with the queens on the board, it makes me a little bit more skeptical of the exchange sack, because black's king might end up in more danger. So there's like rook b5 ideas, queen g5. Queen maybe gets in. If the queens were off the board, I would feel better about it for black. But I kind of think it's like not really necessary at this point. Like this bishop on d6, it's not like dominating like a bunch of super important squares. So I don't really think we need it for the moment.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Maybe if,
I
like the
just
bishop was on f6 and there was a pawn on e5 and then like we can't move because we feel like smothered, then I would think, okay, time to sack.
right. The
Ooh,
bishop on the bishop on d6 is not doing a whole lot of work. Plus, the pawn on c5 is kind of weak anyways, and so getting rid of sort of two weak pieces for a rook and letting your king get unsafe at the same time just it doesn't add up for me.
yeah. Now it looks like black was just able to take on f2 with check, but now stuff is hinging, so black needs to be precise here, but it's starting to look really good for Blunderfest.
Can you exchange the queens off and still find a win, like e3 maybe?
Yeah, no, now I think, yeah, endgame just looks great. The two pawns are very, very strong.
Yeah, e3. I don't see what white does after e3.
Yeah, I think it's
E3
just
bishop f4 rook e2 or just rook e2 right away.
no bishop before you just take it, I
You take on
think.
c5.
Yeah, take on c5, or I would just take on f4 there and then take on c5.
Oh, take on f4. Yeah,
Yeah, just
yeah.
so many pawns and they're so far advanced. Here should be winning for black. It's a little stuck, but I think it's hard to hold three pawns. There's a saying in chess, it's hard to hold three pawns.
c4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if rook c1, do you just take on a4? Okay, c3 now. C3 feels too strong.
Yeah, c3,
C3 and the
d2,
game's over.
bishop a4. Yeah, no, well converted, I think, here.
So let's look at there's a game we haven't looked at yet. There's the last board 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at that one. If there's not any that you're like itching to look at.
Well, let's see. There's a couple of games here. So, stop clock, hamster ham. Looks like stop clock is just a piece up. Okay, so not too interesting.
Plug is a piece up. Yep.
Clark DH against Vito. Um, Not sure if we looked at this one as well. Looks like knight c7 was just played.
Yeah, let's go through this one first, actually.
Yeah. So this is a
Because
Caro.
Venus will have the last game, and so I think at that point
Yeah,
we
this
can
game will finish first.
spend more
Exactly.
time on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the games that are about to finish, I guess we can go over those first. Makes a lot of sense. So which one are you on right now?
So
Board
I'm just
9?
playing through the Clark DH game.
Yeah, that's board 9. Okay.
And
So I was telling Vito about this c5 move on move 2, and nice to see him playing this way. It's
oh, nice, nice.
not my taking on d4 with the knight on c6 is not my favorite. I would have taken on d4 with the knight on f5.
Yeah, but he got a
But either
nice
way,
French's black.
yeah, very nice. Yeah, his position makes a ton of sense. It's not like there's still like little things I would change, but I really don't want to criticize good play. It just looks good overall until the c7 fork. Yeah, once knight c7 is played, I think this is almost the live position, right? Move 20.
Yeah.
That's when things start getting a little hairy for black.
Yeah, I don't like that white gave up the d4 pawn, but then for black, maybe the mistake was going back knight c6 and allowing white to take on f5 and ruin black's structure, because then white was able to get some counterplay. But yeah, now
Would
that
you
white
play
is
queen
one.
d7 instead of knight c6?
Um. Yeah, exactly. Queen d7.
Yeah.
Because we're pawn up,
Feel-
so endgame feels pretty good.
I feel like I've met some lower rated players that wouldn't play queen d7 because they say then I don't get to castle. And
Yeah.
I mean I know queen d7 is a good move. You do too. What would you say to a player who says that?
I just say, like, in the endgame, the king can be safe in the middle of the board, especially if it's closed position. Though you don't always know, but yeah, it's clearly better than the alternatives of knight c6 and moving the king, I think. So
Yep.
yeah,
And then a lot of exchanges. Black has this one pass pawn in the center. I mean, if rook d6 gets played, honestly, I don't know what black is playing for at that point.
yeah, should be good for white here. The extra exchange, pretty open position. I think the rook should kind of show its power, but we'll see. Clark still has to be pretty accurate here.
Okay, so rook d1 played instead of rook d6. I feel like that gives time for rook d8. And still after rook no, there's no rook e3 because the bishop. Yeah, it's black has something to play for now if he gets rook d8 in. If white doesn't get the d file, right? What am I missing?
Well, rook d8, I guess, still rook d6.
Still rook d6. Sorry, I didn't see the bishop. You're right, rook d6 still.
But yeah, I'm not sure why not just rook. I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe rook d6, knight d4 could have been a thought. So okay, rook d8, and now I think it's important to you really want to deal with this pawn as white as quickly as possible.
For sure.
Yeah.
Was there ever a knight d4, knight e2 check trying to get rid of g3 and that doesn't do anything.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, interesting. So now there's no rook d6 either.
Yeah, I don't like this. This is what I feel like is just the one move. Like rook moves to d7 and then what from white?
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't quite realize he just needs to simplify rook d6. Instruct a moment. Just like trade off the rook and then d pawn falls, and then it's just good to trade off the rooks when you're up the exchange, because then you're left with the one cheetah on the board that can go anywhere. Yeah. Okay, now this position's pretty unclear.
Yeah, still a tough position. I think that white definitely I'd prefer white if I were given a choice, but yeah, black has found a way to make it from a simpler game to a more complicated game, and white's gonna have to work to find the win, I think.
Yeah. This one's still gonna be tricky.
I like king f1. It shows some understanding of that the king belongs in the center and that the d3 pawn is a problem. Shows that white understands this at least.
All right,
We
so we got
have
two games left, I think.
yeah. So there's two games that finished up. The one that you were looking at, the Bob Joe Jim board seven.
Yeah.
It looks like the rooks were traded off, and then the pawn majority just rolled down the board, kind of what you had predicted.
Mm-hmm.
And then board eight, Hamsterham versus Stopped Clock. Um, there was a who had the extra piece? Black had the extra piece,
I think so.
and somehow, yeah, Black was able to convert it to from an extra piece to an extra pawn that promoted.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out where White lost a piece, but
Oh, I'm not
in
sure.
in the Hamsterham game, but I figured it out. He missed a tactic.
Ah, yeah. The
Yeah, it
classic
was yeah
queens
the rook
also
A1
move
at the
like
end.
bishops trick.
Well, actually, it's a he thought he was going to pick up E7. It looked like, but
Right.
if you look at move 20, he at the end he can't not move 20, move 19 at the end he
Yeah,
can't take
still.
E7 because
There's
of
rook
rook
A1.
A1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to
Unfortunate.
yeah. Yeah, that's hard.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
he's
in
saying in the
Rapid
chat that
you
that's what he
gotta,
was thinking.
yeah, you gotta calculate very accurately.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh
And
no,
it looks like
0.
the board 10 finished actually. So we have one game left.
Ooh, looks like 0 got in trouble with the pin.
Yeah.
That's okay. It happens. So GG's. So that means we're just left with this Clark game against Vito. Cool.
So Clark versus Vito. Where are they right now? Yeah, there's still this pawn on D2 and Clark has played A3 telegraphing B4.
Yeah, so 95
So
now, maybe B4 for white, right? And finally
why not take the E5 knight?
taking the pawn. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the knight is just hanging as well. Yeah, I was so focused on his B4 idea. I'm like, looks good. Okay, but he just takes the knight. I think that's better. Good job, Clark.
Good job, Clark.
Tactics paying off.
Yeah, looks like Black's dead in the water now.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna need
Looks like
this
he was
point.
before A5, but before 95. Take on F5 and then take on A5. I mean, you could take on A5, but you could take on F5 first if you have some class.
Yeah, just to really.
I want to see how classy Clark is if he sees that he could take a pawn and a bishop as opposed to just a bishop.
No, solid.
Ooh.
Just rook takes A5.
I mean, it's solid.
Yeah.
It's solid. You can't argue with that.
Alrighty. Well, that's gonna be a GG. Dang. Okay, you guys got it. 7-3. Well done. Well played.
Thank you. Thank you. I think the only board that we won where we were lower rated was board 5. Every other board we were slightly higher rated and won. Every other board that we won was slightly higher rated. So
Yeah, that was a good match. I mean,
a lot of these games went to the higher rated person. Huh. Doesn't happen so often in these sub battles, but I guess in rapid games it's a little easier to find good moves.
no, I would say. I mean, it was pretty. It was pretty even, especially because a lot of people they don't necessarily play on chess.com, so their ratings might not even be super accurate. No, I thought it was a fun match. I think we had fun. Our members had fun, so we'd be down to play again sometime.
Oh yeah, I think my members had fun as well. I'm reading the chat right now. They seem super happy and about the games. Even the people that lost, they're saying that it was a ton of fun as well. So, thanks for suggesting this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know a lot of streamers that would say let's do a rapid sub battle. That was the first thing you said, so super
We've
fun.
been joking about doing like a classical sub battle, so that's what we're working on.
I mean, okay, what time control would it be? Because maybe my Discord would be down. Maybe my viewers would be down for it.
I think it'd be fun to do. Some of our members like longer. I like 45 30.
45, 30.
Some of our members will play 90 plus 30 pretty frequently. That's our classical tournament. We'll do up to 90 plus 30. But I
Okay.
think 45 30 is kind of a good in between because it's not too long.
45, 30. So if we did 45, 30, and I don't know, 10 boards at 45, 30, then I'd expect like one of them to go long, right? How long would that go? I'm trying to
Probably,
estimate how long this stream would be.
I think it would be probably at least one game probably go up to like 2 hours. So it'd be
Two
pretty
hours, yeah.
reasonable. We'd start all the games at the same time.
Yeah, of course,
It
start all the games at the same time.
and it would be very much like like one of those European league matches like the Bundesliga, which I think are really
Mhm.
cool. Like in the past, we tried to do like sub battle leagues and stuff, and this could again just be something I don't know think about, but yeah, I think that would be really cool to have some kind of league. We got teams, maybe longer time, like 45 30. I think is a cool time control. We can also keep it rapid, but I think people definitely like playing a little bit longer and as part of a team. I think that's key.
Well, I think what I'm going to do is drop a poll in my Discord and ask them if we were to do like just hypothetically, if we were to do a classical sub battle, would they prefer 45, 30 or 90, 30 just to
Sure.
get some feelers out there. But
Just
I actually did set up a
totally
rapid league on my
hypothetical.
Discord. I had a bot that I had coded that matched people up every week and put the standings online and matched
Oh,
them into
very cool.
teams. And it's currently bot's currently down right now, but we have 1 month seasons, and so December 1st our next season will start, and hopefully I'll have some bugs fixed so that way the bot can handle the pairings and the scores and everything. So
Oh, nice,
we do
nice.
1510 for that one.
That's awesome. Well, Dojo folks, you should join Pawngrubber's channel and Discord if you want to take part in their events. If you're not getting enough from the dojo, but that sounds awesome.
All right. Well, I gotta go. I have a friend. It's their birthday today, so I'm gonna spend time with them. But if you're staying on, I'll raid your channel. Are
Cool.
you
Yeah,
staying on?
I will hang out for a bit, so that sounds good.
Cool.
And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Maybe we'll get another sub battle going soon.
All right. Thanks for setting this up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, have a good one. All
Cool. Bye.
right, folks, let me adjust this real quick. Hey, what's up, folks? Well, that was fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the sub battle. I think we'll definitely do more rapid sub battles in the future because people seem to like them and they're not as fast paced and crazy. They're more a little more relaxed. And maybe we'll do that classical sub battle as well. I think that would be really fun too. Hey, Pawngrubber with the raid. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for playing a great match with us, and congrats on the wins. Welcome to Dojo. I'm Kostia. If we didn't meet earlier, I stream on this channel along with two others actually, David Pruis and Jesse Cry. Yeah, we have a great big community here in the dojo, so definitely drop us a follow, join the Discord if you want to talk chess with other like-minded chess improvers and participate in events and stuff and tournaments. And yeah, we try to do rapid events actually once a week. Our next rapid tournament is coming up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So we try to do a rapid tournament at least once a week on the channel, usually on the weekends. So next one's gonna be tomorrow. Yeah, GG's guys. Well, welcome. Probably not going to be streaming for too much longer today, just finishing up on the sub battle. But yeah, it's been a good week for the dojo. Let's see what else is going on. Got a new YouTube video out today. Very exciting about that. It's a good one, all about how to study from chess books. People always asking about what's the process like to learn from books, and so now you have that available on YouTube. Also, the last video, the Scandi Killer, that one's been doing really well. So if you want to know how to crush the Scandi, that's on YouTube also. Yeah, so we have the Rapid Tournament coming up tomorrow. And let's see, this is probably the last call to sign up for Ultimate Sensei. I think we're going to be choosing the students probably by tomorrow, is my guess, because the season will be starting very, very soon. So if you haven't applied for that yet, you're interested, we're mainly looking for students in the 14 to 1600 rating range. You can check out the application there. Yeah, you guys can definitely apply. Cartier Tank, I think you're a little bit on the higher side because we're going to try to keep the students as close to each other as we can. But you can still apply. You can still submit, it's no problem. I don't know when we're going to reveal the list. We won't reveal it until it is confirmed. So, yeah. Also, we have to check with the students, make sure they want to do it. Can you apply if you're 1600 feet? Again, you can, but we're going to look at your online ratings as well, Alexa, and we're going to know. You really want to compete, Alexa, in the 14 to 1600 group? You think that would be fun? Is that what you want to do? Coaches we haven't announced yet as well. We're finalizing those also, but I think we're pretty close. What rating system do we use? Waffle Truck, we're just going to look at all the ratings because we have to keep in mind that, someone's OTB rating might be older, right? Maybe they played 10 years ago and they haven't played in many years, but they've gone a lot better or whatever. We're going to look at online ratings as well. Maybe someone is 2,900 on Lichess and 1,200 on chess.com. So we're going to be like, it's a little weird. So we'll figure it out. We're just going to look at everyone's full profile and try to keep it as even as we can. Yeah, I'm sure it would be fun. Thanks for the follows, guys. Cuddly Puppy, Paradise City, sounds like Paradise City, and Toby Kerr. Welcome to the dojo. We are inching our way towards 20,000 followers, and maybe we'll have another party when that happens. But we're close. We need something like 1175 more followers to go to get that big 20K. And then once we get 20K, then next would be 30K. And then once we get 30,000 followers, that's it. Nothing's stopping us from getting 40,000. 48-hour streaming in. I don't know what we'll do. But we should do something fun. Maybe it'll be around Thanksgiving when that happens. I don't know. We'll see. 20K, we retire. Shut down the channel for good. That makes sense too. And then once we get to 40K, then it's 50K is right there. And then once we get to 50,000 followers, then it's really just home stretch. Home stretch until the 60K. Any plans for the World Chess Championship? Yeah, I'm sure Jesse's gonna cover the games. For me, it'll depend on the time. Like, I would love to join him, but if they're gonna be like 4 a.m. Like, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. Just too old. Just too old now to do that and maintain a healthy lifestyle. So, I think Jesse will be covering some of the games, but yeah, maybe I'll join him for some of the rounds as well. But Jesse, I think, is very excited about it, and that'll be cool to hang out while we watch the. I mean, World Championship is like, it's a very fun event because the games are so intense. There's so much pressure on the one game that, yeah, it's a fun time. What time are the games? I don't know. I have to check. Oh, 4:30 Pacific? Yeah, that's early. That's early. But maybe, I mean, some days I'm up at like 6 or 7, so maybe I'll join Jesse for the second half of the game. I think that would be fun. Yeah. Okay, so where are we at? What is it, Saturday? Interesting. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think I gotta probably go do some work. I think I should go work on some more videos or something. But thanks for hanging out, checking out the stream. Hopefully we'll do more sub battles in the future. And yeah. Once again, there's going to be another rapid tournament tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So you guys can definitely look forward to playing that. All right, let's rate someone. Who are you rating? Maybe Sophie Rose. Go rate Sophie. Drop her a follow. Sophie is a valued member of the dojo community. Plays in a ton of our tournaments. Was one of our all-stars. And streams fairly often. So yeah, go follow Sophie. Alright, y'all. Have a good Saturday. Take care. Have a good one.